Losers finals of SCS 194. First off, for red team, the Altruistic Armada, we have the Coot Endel, Trike left side, Mercury Lumberjack, Watch a Gatling on the right. Their ally is the Who Needs a Map, Mobula, Hades, dual light flax paired with dual banshees. Their opponents, Legio, Lepidoptera, Leviathan, we have the Metamoth, Hades, Mark Flak, Heavy Flak Mark II, Lumberjack, with a right side Huachin Heavy Carronade. Their ally, a GFA Salvager, left side Triple Artemis, right side Banshee Gatling. Blue team definitely, Legio, Lepidoptera, Leviathan, definitely going to have the advantage here in any sort of long-range engagement. Red does not really have any range disable. They do have the one Mercury on the Shrike, but compared to the Triple Artemis, the Salvager, any sort of long or medium range fight, I feel like blue team is just going to dominate in. Artemis is such a powerful weapon, and the fact that we haven't been seeing a lot of it today is really a departure from what we typically see from these competitive level matches. A lot of teams relying on the Artemis. So if red team definitely going to be wanting to close the distance here. And the other issue is blue's bringing a junker. Red does not have any sort of balloon disable. Who needs a map? Not who needs map. Coot Endel, the Shrike, opting to bring a Hwacha instead of a balloon popper. I found the heavy carronade usually a prime choice against the slower ships with big balloons and weapons low on the ship profile, which ships like the Galleon, the Junker, heavy carronade is very good against. But here we only have the Hwacha. The Hwacha will at least... the Hwacha is usually you set it up for a faster kill because it has higher follow-up damage because you're pairing it with a... On the Coot Endel, you're pairing it with a Gatling. Gatling Hwacha is going to have a faster time to kill than like Gatling Heavy Carronade or Heavy Carronade Banshee will, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult to lock the targets down with the Hwacha, and already Legio Lepidoptera, let me not slur my words too much. Legio Lepidoptera, Leviathan moving in. We're seeing that long range duel that I was speaking about earlier. Who needs a map? Their balloon already very low from the Lumberjack shots from the Metamoth. Coot Endel has a Lumberjack of their own, taking down the Galleon's balloon. But this fight is not going to last too long here. Once the Salvager starts engaging the Artemis, I think the Artemis just came into range. And once the Artemis starts taking out guns and engines on the red ships, it's going to be very difficult for Altruistic Armada to continue this fight. They're going to rely very heavily, if they want to, they're going to rely very heavily on the defensive terrain in the eastern ribs, but that really only goes so far, especially when you have a Mobula, and Mobula is not good at using vertical terrain because it's not a broadside ship, it's a forward-facing ship. Every time you back behind terrain, you totally lose arcs, you have to turn. It's just a very timely procedure versus Junker, Galleon, which are broadside ships that can strafe forward and backwards around tall pillars. So I don't think this terrain point they're using is going to work very well for them. And blue team is very slowly pushing towards the red side of the map. They're trying to take control of the center of dunes, which will again let them stray forward and back and continue to maintain their arcs around these terrain pieces. Hades coming out onto the Metamoth. Who needs a map? Balloon is low. Galleon, or I'm sorry, the Junker's balloon already down, popping drogue shoot to stay in the air. Coot Endel has decided to move in. They've decided Salvager is sufficiently separated from their ally to engage with the close range guns. This fight going to take place in a sandstorm, so they're going to have to get a kill very quickly or they're going to get disabled. Armor's down, 3 engines down. The Salvager, who needs a map, assisting with their long range fire. Where are the light flax from the red Mobula? Not coming in. Salvager completely disabled, popping tar. Tar not going to work when all the engines are down. And I think who needs a map, able to get a kill with the light flax. Coot Endel picking the right opportunity, catching the Junker stranded in the sandstorm, and now Metamoth left on their own. There's a possibility they get a kill here if they get an armor break into heavy flak. And who needs map going to lose? Good mallet hit. keeping the Who Needs a Map the armors up. Just finally going down, but not before the Coot Endel engages the Metamorph to push them away, distract them a little bit, try to give their ally Mobula time to recover. Here comes the Hwacha, 2 engines down, heavy flak is down as well. Armor down to the Gatling, but the Hwacha is already fired, so there's not going to be any significant damage before the Who Needs Map recovers and re-enters the fight. And Salvager, Junker, not a fast ship, spawning clear across the map. I think this is probably going to be a second point for Altruistic Armada. The only question is how long it's going to take for them to actually close the kill here. Salvager, the situation blue team is put in, they don't know if the Galleon's going to survive or not, so Salvager is very cautiously inching their way forward. But I think, I don't know. We really have not been seeing any heavy flaks from Who Needs the Map. I think that's one of the big issues from the Red Mobula we've seen in this game and in the previous game, is that Red Team's lacking a lot of follow-up damage. They're kind of sitting on the Banshees, which are okay. Salvager, unfortunately, just coming in, Galleon down to already 15% perma-hull. So if they're gonna have to take out this Mobula with the Artemis, take out those guns. And I don't know if it's gonna happen before the Metamorph dies. Who Needs a Map pursuing the Galleon very aggressively. And Coot Endel sticking on their close range side, it seems like. Rather than using their Lumberjack. They're using the Gatling. They're probably going to move forward and switch to the Galleon here to make sure they get this kill. Because Who Needs a Map is having a little bit of difficulty, but I think that's certainly going to be it. Fast armor rebuild on the Metamorph. Here's the Gatling. Any explosive damage whatsoever will kill them. And the Metamorph does go down. Salvager now. They move forward. They committed to this fight. Which was maybe not the correct decision. They were optimistic on their Galleon's tanking capabilities in the face of both the red ships. And now they're going to try to disengage. Helpful dust cloud moving in. Which turns this disengagement from an impossibility to somewhat possible. It's like you have your own enormous enormous tar barrel cloud. And it doesn't even damage your engines. Budental still closing the distance though. Gatling going to try to disable that Hwacha. If the Hwacha comes out and takes out the engines, looks like hitting the front of the Junker, taking down several guns. Ooh, main engine is actually down, the Junker. Armor break. But once again, Gatling Hwacha. Yeah, tar barrel from the Salvager. Let's just double up on the... Oh, these poor engineers. Goodbye, Junker. Dust cloud stacking with tar barrel. Taking out the components very quickly. And finally, Coot Endel gets to clear the screen here. I'm sure we'll see a new line very quickly. I planned to make that joke last game, but they didn't really get any kills, so I couldn't make it. But I'm glad it was certainly worth it to hold on to it for this game. And we're gonna see a full engagement. Finally. Salvager and Metamorph have both spawned in. Now these dust clouds in center map have proved to be one of the factors here leading to Lepidoptera's downfall. Is it seems like each time the moment that the dominoes started to fall for blue team was when Salvager got caught in that dust storm, and then Coot Endel was able to just move in and capitalize. So and what I said at the beginning of the match is blue team definitely has long to medium range firepower. So if Lepidoptera or Leviathan can maintain some distance, they're going to have a much stronger position in this match. And that's really what I would like to see. Salvager moving up. Metamorph. Here's a kill on... You saw a heavy flak there landing on the Who Needs a Map. First kill for blue team. Coot Endel now in enemy territory. Moving in. Gatling Hwacha is not going to be able to get a kill against either of these ships at full health. So the best Coot Endel is going to be able to do is try to disengage. And it's going to be a little tough. You already see Artemis taking down the engines of the Shrike. Also taking down the health of the Shrike too. Metamorph able to pick up the kill, and now 3-2. Bringing the score a little bit closer. I really do think these more open air fights are definitely going to benefit blue team. But now the problem is that was a stronger strategy at the beginning of the match. Now we're 10 minutes in, only 10 minutes left on the clock. Red team has the kill advantage, and what that means is that even though blue team has a much stronger long-range defensive loadout, they're forced into a position where they have to initiate a fight no matter what, because they have the point deficit. Otherwise, red team will, when the timer expires, red team will win by default, as per the rules. So this is going to be a difficult comeback. It's a difficult position that Lepidoptera is being put in here. And we see red team, Altruistic Armada, already moving into the ribs. Yet again, they really like this piece of terrain. Salvager is spotted. Metamoth moving into center map. A lot of how this fight goes is going to depend on how defensively red team wants to play it as well. Because you have this theoretical... They have this theoretical advantage. Well, not theoretical. They have an advantage. But not all teams want to play out the timer for whatever reason. It's just not their style. So we could see, despite the fact that they could play the timer to their advantage, we might see Altruistic Armada just running in for kills. If that's what they feel like. Lumberjack shots engaging on who needs a map. It's going to lose its balloon here. Nope, just getting behind cover. Balloon within one shot of dying. Metamoth's balloon is low as well. Coot Endel moving in on the GFA Salvager. We're going to see a Hwacha. Nope, Hwacha taken out by the Artemis just in the nick of time. Unable to get it out, and Coot Endel going to take a little bit of tar damage. Now, Hwacha, as soon as Hwacha rebuilds, it's going to be ready to fire because they didn't get their shot off. And we see it here, Salvager almost completely disabled, losing 3 engines, popping more tar to try to zone the Coot Endel away from its backside. Who needs the map having a little bit of difficulty navigating around. This is the issue I was talking about with Mobulas and this vertical terrain, is they're having a little bit of difficulty getting gun arcs on the Salvager, so they can't really help their ally from the position the red Mobula has. So instead, who needs a map? Switching to the Metamoth. While the Coot Endel goes for a solo kill on the Salvager, which is going to take a pretty long time. Hwacha comes out, but it only the first half of the Hwacha takes down the armor, so Salvager still pretty healthy. They have no components, but the armor, the perma health, still at 70%. Oh, rest in peace. Man, this is really good match spectating by me. It's just that kill ships dying off screen every 15 seconds. Looks like Coot Endel was able to land a Hwacha connection with the down to armor, taking out the Junker. Putting the score 4-3. Altruistic Armada at match point here at the losers finals. Winner of the match will go on to face Fancy Cloud Dancers in the grand finals, and loser is eliminated. So this is the last chance for both teams to stay in this event. I feel like we should ban heavy flak from the tournament just for the sake of allowing me to miss less kills, because this you have a Mobula at 60% health and then they're just dead immediately. All it takes is one solid heavy flak connection. As the teams reset to neutral, Coot Endel is spotted. So Metamoth is going for some long-range lumberjack fire here. These are tough shots. Now, heavy flak. Looks like Altruistic Armada is going to continue to play the ribs for the rest of this match. As blue team has already closed the distance. I'll be curious to see who Metamoth decides to focus. They're moving in pretty quickly. Lumberjack Hades coming in towards the Coot Endel. A lot of it missing. The damage output is pretty low. Salvager has lost their balloon to the Lumberjack. of the Red Shrike. Dual focus from red team. Not taking down the armor just yet. Using Drogue Shoot to stay in the air. Medamoth has taken down the balloon of the Coot Endel, so they're going to drop out of Mercury range. Mercury Arts, excuse me. And also, Medamoth losing their balloon. I like this piece of terrain right here. This horizontal bar is a lot better for the Mobula. This is the first time we've seen them use this in this game, because it lets the Mobula use its up-down capabilities rather than trying to strafe around a really tall piece of terrain. So that's a little bit better positioning for you aspiring Mobula pilots who have the unfortunate circumstance to have to play on dunes. There are some small pieces of horizontal terrain that you can use. Blue team, they're moving towards the southern opening of the ribs. If they can, I would like to see them continue pushing east here, because if they can move to this opening, it's going to be much more difficult for red team to use the terrain defensively. Although, who needs a map taking big damage from the ground? Good lumberjack shots from Medamoth, keeping them disabled, keeping them out of the sky. And suddenly, score is 4-4. 4 minutes left on the clock. Coot Endel stranded here. They are on red side of the map, so if the Red Shrike can survive, the Mobula will spawn in close, but are they going to be able to survive here? We might see the engine block being used as defensive cover. I'm not sure. Trying to run in open air is a little bit dangerous because of the triple Artemis on the Salvager. As soon as those engines start going down, it'll be tough. Who needs a map is spawned in, going for straight for the Medamoth. They're confident the Coot Endel is going to be able to survive the Salvager. I don't know what those light flaks are doing. Let's get some Banshee fire on the Medamoth. Hades coming out. Balloon is low. Banshees will certainly finish off the balloon if they keep firing and racking up those fire stacks. Salvager has been forced back to defend their ally, but Coot Endel is continuing to chase them. Are we going to see a Hwacha barrage? Hwacha looks like going for the Medamoth. But the Hwacha from the Medamoth disabling the Coot Endel. Now Coot Endel taking big damage from the Salvager. Half health. Who needs a map? Focusing on the Medamoth. Coot Endel is disabled here. With Gatling coming out from the Coot Endel, they're taking too much damage. The Hwacha from the Medamoth combined with the Gatling of the Junker, able to finish off the Red Shrike, and Legio Lepidoptera Leviathan is able to turn the situation to their advantage and take the match 5-4.